Saludos cazalogros, bienvenidos a la guía completa de AERY A New Frontier. Este juego salió a la venta el pasado 12 de mayo de 2022 por 9,99 y se completa en un poquito más o un poquito menos de una hora, depende cómo se os dé. A los que sabéis de qué van estos juegos, pues hace falta explicar poco, ¿no? Tendréis que coger todos los coleccionables, una vez los cojáis todos, pasaréis de nivel. Hay 8 niveles y los coleccionables en este aparecen una vez que cojáis el anterior, es decir, cogéis coleccionable 1 y aparecerá el 2. Es decir, no están todos a la vez activos, sino que tenéis que ir cogiéndolos en cierto orden. Os recomiendo que os pongáis el vídeo, lo dejéis adelantado unos 5 segundos y así vais viendo dónde los vais a ir cogiendo, ¿vale? Poneos buena música de fondo y tendréis este juego, como digo, en una hora o algo menos.
I still remember it was yesterday, the day it all started. Probably the biggest stepstone in the history of all humanity. It was a peaceful day, a beautiful day, yet the excitement was recognizable everywhere. That day, there was not a single soul on Earth that did not look to the sky and think about far distant galaxies. This was the day all of our lives changed forever. The day humanity was finally able to explore the galaxy. The day humanity was able to reach what was beyond the Milky Way and much further. A day that we should all remember as the very beginning of a new era. It all started with a quite ordinary-looking student. His mind, however, was anything but ordinary. He spent day in, day out thinking about space travel. Until one day, he decided to make his life dream a reality. It took him 20 years, but in the end, he actually did it. After a ton of research, countless trials, and more failure than you can imagine. He finally finished his big invention. A drive system so strong, so fast, that humanity was finally able to reach even the... No planet was out of reach anymore. No way too far. Oh well. It took another 10 years until the... But from there on, humanity became unstoppable. Within the next 5 years, we produced half a dozen of this new kind of spaceship. Every single one was bigger and faster than the ones before. By the end of the century, there could be up to 4,000 people inside a single spaceship. Just another 10 years later, the spaceships were more like cities. Giant and incredibly fast cities. seemed like there was no limitation to these new kinds of travel in living habitats. And with these new technologies, and literally millions of people eager to go on a space adventure, there was nothing that could stop humanity from spreading all over the galaxies. Hundreds, maybe thousands of spaceships made their way into the cold, empty nothingness called space. All of them with just one goal in mind: find another planet. One that was big enough to serve as a new base for more space exploration. One that was rich in minerals, so that we could use them to build houses and power our machines. One that was safe, so that we would not have to worry about environmental catastrophes. And last but not least, one that was Earth-like, so that we would be able to breathe air. Even though hundreds of units scattered all over the galaxies, none of them was able to find a single planet that was good enough to serve as a new home. Well, none is not quite right. There was one small ship that got damaged in an asteroid storm, unknowingly had to land on a tiny green planet. A planet so far away that no one else would ever come to their rescue. The landing was very hard. Some would say it was more a crash than a landing. It was something close to a miracle that everyone on board actually survived it. Once landed, the crew had to face reality. Their spaceship would fly nowhere anytime soon. While everyone inside survived, the ship itself didn't. It was so badly damaged that it was clear it would never leave this planet again. And since the ship couldn't leave this planet anymore, the entire crew was trapped on this new unknown planet. They formed little exploration teams to scout their surroundings. They wanted to find out more about this unknown planet, about their new home. Austin Kane was a member of the first scouting team. He was a young man, barely more than years. He had never seen anything like this planet. Actually, he had never seen any other planet, at least not from this close. He was born and raised on a spaceship. And so far never had the possibility to leave the only home he knew and loved. But now, it was time. It was his first time to use the exit doors. His first time to venture into an unknown area. His heart was beating like crazy as the door opened. All of his friends told him how lucky he was that he was one of the first to visit their new planet. At this moment, as the door opened and the bright light blinded his eyes, he was not sure if he was lucky at all. He was scared. Nothing else. He didn't know how to handle the situation. He didn't know how to react. He wanted to turn around and run away. Hide himself inside the safe and well-known corridors of his home. But what would his friends say? His family? How could he, the one who was chosen to have this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, just run away from it? In his mind, he could already see the sad and disappointed faces of his family and friends. He could hear his mother crying and see his father look away, ashamed of his son. He didn't want to be a coward. He needed to be brave. He needed to step out of his door into the bright light. For his sake, for his family, for everyone on the spaceship. The first exploration was short. They didn't know what to expect, so they decided to keep it safe for now. But while the exploration was short, their findings, their discoveries, right at the moment Austin stepped outside, he already knew it. It wasn't difficult to realize by any means, but it seemed like Austin was the first who knew what. There were signs everywhere. Signs so obvious, so giant, that no one could have ignored them. This planet, it was inhabited by intelligent living beings. Well, at least it was once. While they couldn't see any living being on the planet, their buildings, their technology was everywhere. Giant towers and installments for communications reached into the sky. Old buildings and housing districts seemed to be everywhere. Austin was so fascinated to see all of this that his fear was simply blown away. We wanted to discover this new planet. We wanted to meet the inhabitants of this new and unknown planet. We wanted to see what they were capable of. He wanted to talk to them and get to meet them. He wanted to learn from them. Austin made a step forward and slipped. The first step into his new home also could have been his last one. Austin fell to the ground and hit his head on a small stone. The glass of his spacesuit shattered. He closed his eyes. That's it, he thought. There is no air to breathe on this planet. No chance for me to survive. He opened his eyes again and took what he assumed was the last breath he would ever take. But then, nothing happened. He could taste a little bit of salt and an overwhelming fresh breeze of air. He took a second breath, and a third. The air tasted just like back on Earth. Around to the rest of his crew. They looked a little bit like they were looking at a ghost, like they were just looking through Austin. They just couldn't believe what had just happened. Finally, as they saw the big grin and the overall happiness on his face, they started to realize this planet had air, fresh, breathable air. One of them sunk on their knees and started crying out of sheer happiness. The others took off their own helmets in order to experience the wonder that they had just stumbled upon. Finally, they had found their new home. Discovery of fresh air, everyone was eager to get to know the new planet. Every day, new scout teams would go out to learn more about the new environment. They discovered water and even edible plants and small animals. One thing they did not discover was any bigger or more dangerous animal. It seemed like the whole planet was a giant, peaceful paradise. Sure, it looked a bit different from what they were used to. And even the gravity was a bit lower than the one on Earth. But all in all, the planet was perfect. It didn't have any poisonous animals or plants. No animals with sharp teeth. And in general, nothing that could hurt a human. Everything was peaceful and coexisted without bringing harm to another. The humans soon decided to use parts of their crashed spaceship to build a new base. They wanted to fit into this new environment and peacefully coexist with the animals on this planet. They started farming the new plants. To create a reproducible source of food. They started to study the living beings on this new planet to learn more about its past and about the way everything worked. They even built several research facilities to optimize the amount of time they needed to understand them. It was a beautiful time. Filled with exploration and small wonders, the humans started to understand. They started to see how a world so similar and yet so different could exist. They were eager to learn more. To adapt to their new home. To fit in, to protect. They built solar-powered cars to extend their reach and to learn even faster. And soon after, they made a new incredible discovery. It seemed like the intelligent being that used to live here before left the planet on purpose. They didn't want to spoil this little piece of paradise. But more importantly, they left behind some of their old technology. New ways to harvest fruits and vegetables. New ways to power machines. Ways to travel. New ways to build houses. But most importantly, a new way to generate enormous amounts of energy. Strong enough to power whole cities. Maybe even whole planets. A new way to make sure the humans would be able to survive and grow as a race. This new source of knowledge enabled the small group of humans to grow faster than ever before. They used the new harvesting techniques to make sure that there would be enough food for everyone. They used their new building techniques to build bases even in the highest mountains. And they used their new source of energy to power their machines and cars. And while the new energy wasn't perfect by any means, it was much more. It all centered around one small generator. The generator needed a certain material to work. And the material could be found under Earth. In the deserts, in the mountains, at the ground of some lakes, basically everywhere. Even a small amount of this kind of crystal would be enough to power a whole city for a week, or a single base for more than a year. The humans started to build bases all over the planet. They wanted to secure as many of the crystals as they could, to make sure that they would never run out of it. secure their beloved progress, to secure their evolution. But while some of this might sound bad, it actually wasn't. The crystals were not destroyed in the process. They even regained their lost power over time. The humans had learned to understand their new planet. They understood how to use their resources without destroying anything. They understood the gift that they had received. And they needed to make sure to preserve their new knowledge, technologies, and nature for generations to come. It was this thought that actually made them contact a ship from outside of their community. A ship that was still out there. Searching for a new planet. For a new home. They wanted to share their gift with the rest of humanity. They wanted to make sure that no one had to suffer once they reached a planet that was fitting. To preserve their planets, to preserve their nature. Their knowledge. They compiled a file with all the information they gathered and sent it to the unknown spaceship. A spaceship that should become their messenger. A spaceship that would help them to spread the new information all around the galaxy. A spaceship that would help to preserve their knowledge. Help to share their knowledge with everyone. A messenger of peace. A messenger of happiness. A message that should change humanity at its core. A message so powerful that no one would be able to ignore it. So pure, it would spread like a fire and change the essence of humanity. To not only save their own race, but also the future of the whole universe. And in a way, their plan worked. The message was delivered. The ship forwarded the message to the next one. message once again. Soon after, there was not a single human alive who didn't know about the message. And just like they planned, most humans understood the utmost importance of their words. What did not go as planned was their reaction. Like a wildfire. More and more human spaceships turned away from their search for a new home. Instead, they headed towards a tiny green planet. The planet that sent the message. The planet there. The planet with unlimited resources. The planet with alien technology that gave them unlimited power. While many wanted, no one dared to attack the planet. The reason was the message itself. The inhabitants of the small green planet had made it very clear that they had unlimited power. Who would attack such an enemy? Instead, the many spaceships gathered around the planet. Wanted to trade. They wanted to get access to unlimited resources. They wanted to settle on a small planet that at this point was already inhabited by more than enough humans. They didn't want to search for happiness. They just wanted to take it from someone else. They didn't see the small planet as paradise. They saw it as a mine. That they could simply use until it would finally break apart. Together they erected a whole network of space stations all around the tiny planet. A giant space station network so tight that no one could move past it without being seen. Their goal was to make sure that no one could ever escape the planet. That no one would run away with the resources. That no one would run away with the knowledge that they maybe did not share so far. They didn't realize that none of their prisoners actually wanted to flee. Still happy on their small planet. they still lived in peace and harmony. They were disappointed about the reaction of their race. They knew better than to respond with violence. They already knew it was only a matter of time. They knew that they would not be able to defend themselves. They not only did not want to build weapons, they simply couldn't. All that they had learned over all these years, it all had told them that violence, war, and murder were never an option. They had learned to live in peace and harmony. To coexist with every other being that passes their way. The simple thought of attacking or hurting someone else was nothing they were capable of anymore. They didn't know how to respond to the aggressions of the intruders. So, they simply didn't. They just lived their lives as they had always done. Didn't fight. didn't hurt anyone. They didn't defend themselves. They just vanished. In a matter of days, all the inhabitants of the tiny green planet vanished from existence. All of their kindness, all of their ways of living, all of their beliefs. The intruders were merciless. They didn't understand their behavior. They thought they had some evil master plan in the back of their hand. So, they did what they do best. They destroyed every single one of their enemies. Without any exceptions. Within weeks, they erected giant protection measures. Giant guns facing skywards. Giant towers to oversee the land. Just in case someone like themselves would one day appear in the sky. Just in case they would have to protect the resources and energy that they had fought so hard for. No matter what, they would fight to protect their new planet. They would not stand by and let their treasure be taken from them. Even at that point, they didn't realize it. They didn't realize that their biggest treasure was already gone. That they had been the one destroying it. Within a couple of years, thousands of super cities were created out of nothing. With help of the new technologies, limited amount of energy. Humanity evolved much faster than ever before. They needed space to progress. More land to build cities on. More seas to erect swimming fortresses. More mountains to mine energy crystals. Soon after, there was no space left. No space to build. No space to live. place to evolve. They had pushed nature itself to the border of extinction. The last animals were already gone a long time ago. And the last trees died shortly after the 1000th megacity was introduced. The fresh air of their planet was no longer fresh. It was artificially produced. Produced by giant generators that were conveniently placed near each new city. The oceans were no longer there, as they already started building on the water a long time ago. And the sky was darkened by the pollution and the smog of the giant cities. As the remaining space became smaller and smaller, humans had to live closer to each other than ever before. Their cities reached into the sky. But every single human had a place to live no bigger than a closet. They were unhappy. They felt restricted. They didn't want to live like that anymore. But they did not have an option. There was simply no space to go. So one day, they decided that it was time. It was time to leave this godforsaken planet. To search for a new place. A new home. A new little paradise. A place where there was enough space for everyone. Nature and animals had not mysteriously vanished. And where no giant network of space stations blocked the sun from reaching the ground. A place where there was no need for giant rocket launchers to face skywards. Peaceful place. A place where they could live happily and peacefully together. Coexist with every other being that passes their way. A place where morality and kindness still had their value. Nothing like the planet they lived on. And so, they left the planet. former self. Tiny and gray. Like a forgotten memory of the past. Or a flake of ash. Falling from the burning feather dress of a phoenix, resurrecting its form.